All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another round of the 4DM 2023 quarterfinals. We have the World Cup rematch, is what me and Dynascape are calling this right now. I'm Walmart. Joining me in the commentary booth is Dynascape.
Yes,
We got
sir.
France. We got France versus Argentina for this round.
Yeah, these two teams meeting in the losers quarterfinals. Both teams vying to take each other on and try to get to Vietnam for the conditional later on this week.
Yeah, and this is a bit of a throwback to the Qatar World Cup. I think these teams look relatively familiar.
So it should be quite a fun matchup for the countrymen viewers.
Yeah. I remember watching the World Cup, seeing these two battle it out. Anyways, a bit of an SV warm up here. I do know this map actually. I played it before.
Yeah, judging on the current scores, have to garner a guess that France is the one picking this map.
Yeah, seeing how well France is performing right now.
Pretty interesting too, since France got 11th place on the SV qualifiers, with Argentina getting 14th. So both teams are quite adept at SV, and really the margins are quite slim between them. It could be anyone's game.
Yeah, as we're about to reach the drop here. Bit of these teleports coming in. These stutters that can really throw off anyone, and yeah, we can just see that France is absolutely tackling this chart. A little bit of these pretty satisfying stutters.
Wow, and Biliak is going crazy on this map. I have to wonder if it's their choice specifically. Finally takes a break halfway into the map.
Yeah, getting into a little bit of just a slow down section here. Of course, I don't think you'll be seeing these types of SV charts in this map pool. Too easy, I would say.
We're gonna have to see what's gonna go on down in the ban, protect, and pick phase. I mean, with France leading off with an SV warm-up, it could mean that they are kind of poised to try to go for at least one SV pick during these rounds, trying to ward off Argentina.
Yeah, potentially. As reaching the final part of this map, a little more of these stutters. Really satisfying to look at is what I would say.
Yeah, dude, it's always nice for these stops. Really cool.
Yeah, as we can see Biliak with the only one in this lobby with a 99 right now. I think holding on to that FC still, unless they might have dropped earlier. But that is a very strong score from the entirety of France. Definitely going to kind of point an arrow to where they're comfortable in for this for this round, I would say.
Yeah, so very nice scores from the side of France. One miss by Biliak, by far and away the best player in the lobby for this specific SV map. So now we can go ahead and get on to Argentina's warm-up.
Oh boy.
Oh boy! Yeah, this is a banger.
Rat kitty, rat kitty, rat. Okay. Absolute banger song.
Yeah, I wonder if this is the Memphis guest dip.
Absolute jam.
It's a nice palate cleanser after that warm up. Just having something really silly, really fun.
Yeah, as feel like everyone's really going over Memphis right now. But I'm more just proud about whoever started doing this, or whoever this thought it was a good idea to map this and get a few other players to add their guest diffs.
Yeah, in terms of warm up maps, I feel like this would probably break into my personal top 5 warm ups played throughout this tournament. We've had a lot of good warm ups.
Yeah, I really kind of have a favorite warm up, but it's kind of a bias since it was Team Canada's warm up.
Yeah,
I
that's
believe it,
very, very fair.
but I believe it was a. This is definitely reaching the podium for top 3 warm ups I've seen.
Yeah, you and I have gone through quite a few, couple of ads sprinkled in there too as well.
I believe it was a SVP chart that was like a minute long. That was just LN, and then there was that one warm up that Peru used. I believe it was the Netherlands versus Peru, and it was like a really satisfying SV chart. And that was a very short map, just a minute long, but so much jam packed in just a minute. And look at that ratio from everyone, especially from that just tiny little jump stream. Very,
Crazy
very
scores.
impressive. Yeah, very crazy, especially for 4 digits as well.
Yeah,
Everyone view one double
3.42
Sing.
star rating. Very, very challenging for these players. Probably something you'll see around in the next round in terms of difficulty for the map pool. But that's gonna do it.
Everyone, literally everyone getting a view on double S on this.
Just goes to show how much is needed from you as
Yeah,
one of the leading 4 digits for your country.
who you think will win this role? Will it be
Personally,
the?
I've got to go for Argentina.
Personally, I gotta go for France, and
Yeah,
I think I know
based on
why
their
you're.
profile pictures.
Throwback to I can't remember which MWC it was, but one MWC where a bunch of people changed their profile pictures to country flags to root for their favorite country. So we're kind of doing that for France versus Argentina.
Yeah, I think we're kind of advancing the commentary meta going on right
Yeah,
now. Hopefully, we can get more of this uh, going on later in the rounds, maybe later in the weekend.
more of the
But
funny stuff.
Bobby Blue rolling a 13, not off to a great start with. Oh my
Oh,
lord! Yeah, that's my
oh my
team
lordy
pulling
lord.
out Argentina with 100. I mean,
Lionel
I give them my
Messi
power.
playing Mania. As that is a absolute dart of a throw. Nice 100 roll, and I think Argentina's gonna win the roll. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, with 100, they might as well win the match at this point. There's
Yeah.
no stopping them. It's only down from here, really.
Congratulations to Argentina for winning the match. We can move on to our next match, and they're gonna go for SV2 for a protect, back and forth. So, assuming that Argentina did their homework here, gonna protect back and forth SV2. So we could see maybe two or both SV picks getting picked in this match.
Yeah, that's a very, very interesting protect, I feel, because again, with friends picking that SV warm up, they were, I guess, trying to ward off Argentina of any kind of semblance of or any notions of protecting an SV, something like that. However, it doesn't seem to work out for them. Argentina's gonna protect SV2 regardless, and France protects SV1 in return. So now we have both SVs in play. It's been
Yeah,
quite a while since, we've seen that double SV protect.
Baby Blue gonna go for the protect on SV1 concentration. So definitely going to be something for both of these players. And now we're gonna see France's ban. I actually don't know where this would go. You have options, I would say. And they're gonna go for Rice One Blockbuster. I would probably say like something like Blockbuster or even maybe like Pump It. Something quite dense would not really be in their comfort zone, but
Yeah,
France opted to ban Rice One, our jump stream pick, Blockbuster. Very
it kind of
accurate
makes
to our real
sense.
life world.
Yeah, yeah. France getting 20th place in the jump stream qualifiers, by far their worst placement. Next one being 19th in the accuracy department. So I can see why they wanted to ban Rice one, especially against a team like Argentina. Argentina probably gonna go for something like an LM ban, I would assume.
Maybe something like Angel Echo or probably like maybe New Genesis.
Yeah, even into the hybrid sounds like a good idea. It doesn't seem like they're too well rounded when it comes to LN slash hybrid. They have their moments here and there, however, just overall, not. I wouldn't think of them as really an LN team.
Who knows? We've seen some complete 180s in this tourney, so lots like literally anything could happen. As Argentina probably discussing behind the scenes on what they want to ban.
Yeah, hopefully Bancho didn't eat the message and we're just actually like sitting ducks here.
I mean, we could chat about the World Cup.
We we could talk about that if needed.
I'm checking the MP link. Looks like they banned Pump It. So we were sitting ducks.
Wow.
I booted up the rev sheet and it was Pump It Up. Yeah, Pump It. I'm just hearing the kitty song in the background and it threw me off on what I was saying. But yeah, Argentina gonna opt to ban Pump It. And it's Argentina's first pick. I believe our client might have a bit of issue with the chat.
Quite an interesting ban from the side of Argentina. France and Argentina just seem like they have really the same game plan going in, get their win on the SV pick at some point in the match, and then possibly try to snatch some points on what I would assume is not the rice pools.
Yeah, as I think we're just waiting for Argentina's first pick. I believe we might be having chat issues as Argentina did ban Pump It, but it's not showing up in the chat. Uh oh, I think we're back. I think our referee just had a bit of a network issue.
Glad we
And here
got
we go.
that sorted out. Yeah, Argentina's pick.
Yeah, our referee not having the greatest Wi-Fi, I would assume here. But gives us a bit more time to discuss on what Argentina could potentially pick here.
Yeah, very rare that it's on the side of the staff, like the referee getting, disconnect issues or anything like that. Uh, but Argentina, first up to pick, is gonna go ahead with Rice 5 after banning Rice 4. They're gonna go for a lane.
They're gonna go for the scary map.
This really is the scary map.
It's very frightening, I would say. Also very technical as well. Definitely one of our most technical picks out of this entire pool, I would say.
Yeah, in terms of the uh, Rice maps given, definitely requires some finesse, some dexterity of the hands. The lane is very, very bursty, very awkwardly snapped. You know, just the general things that you would expect out of the tech-based Rice pick.
Yes, I believe we already have um our lineup for our Rice pool here. Seeing everyone already saying good luck, have fun. Argentina be picking this map even though it's a French song, French lyrics.
Treading into the opponent's territory with this first pick already. Hopefully it turns out well for them.
Yeah, this map is very technical.
Alright, all players readied up. Got the MP start in motion. And with that, the first pick is now underway. We have France and Argentina in the losers quarterfinals. Again, battling it out, seeing
Oh,
who can go against Vietnam.
Baby Blue gonna wait, Baby Blue gonna put on flashlight.
Yeah, flashlight player. Very interesting. Holding the B2SS for the longest time. I think Hakitsu of side Argentina unfortunately took a couple of early bad judgments. Nothing too much though. Definitely can be salvaged.
Yeah. Oh, and Limbicil gonna find the first uh break of this chart. Relatively early though, as Quiz trades it right back.
Bobby
As
the Blues returns it in kind, so now the missed deficit is 4-1 on the side of Argentina. A little bit more to play with. You see that the lead is very, very slim.
yeah, as Limbicil finds another drop on these very awkward stream technical patterns as a little bit of a calm down section with these LNs.
Only about a quarter of the way in, and I mean, two misses on the board of France might be a bit hard. Limbicel actually taking yet another one with a string of bad judgments to go with it, dropping down to almost a 99 tied in accuracy with Bisu Wu.
Ooh. Still, C is already finding some more drops as well. No one on Team France is going to have an FC going into this first half of this chart, as everyone besides Quiz FCing on Argentina's side, especially with these mini jacks and these trills starting to come in.
Oh man, everyone handling the trills just fine. It's really important that Spark and Hakitsu does hold combo, as Bobby Blue does take yet another drop. Very clean, however, Spark finally falls.
And
Quistu to
Quiz
back
too,
it up.
as there is still room. It's just that France is going to have to hold on. They cannot afford any more breaks. All that's left is Hakitsu. And if that player finds a drop, that's going to be the straw that broke the camel's back. And it's going to be probably more neck and neck than it will ever be.
Yeah, only about 8,000 points separating these two teams. So it seemed like Argentina just has had the lead for the entirety of this match, but right now it really is closer than what it seems. Everything is running off of Hakitsu and their FC at the moment. 99.56 as well. Extremely clean. Janspark pretty close. 99.52 with that break.
Yes, Mark
Last
reaching the
section.
combo cap. As record scratch, as we are right back in. Hakitsu gonna have to really focus on the map and not the intense screaming in the background. Oh,
Wow,
Jansmark and Limassol trade.
gonna need more than that from the side of Argentina if anything is to happen. About last tenth of the map coming in. One more break could do it and give it over to France. However, it seems like Argentina is doing just fine.
Yeah, and they're gonna hold on. Only by like 2,000 points. Jansmark and Limassol trading drops at the end. I believe if Limassol did not find that drop, I think France would have pulled it off in the end. But Argentina going to be winning off their own pick. Hakitsu with that FC or with that no miss, despite that 150 still being the only one on in this entire lobby to hold a no miss.
Definitely the MVP of that map. Really held things together for Team Argentina. I mean, both teams were only separated by I think about 2,000-ish points at the end. So it was
Yeah,
super important that Hakitsu had FC that and a well-earned point to the side of Argentina as France chooses their first pick.
2,567 point difference as is now France's pick. I think maybe we could see a an instant go for your protect type pick.
Yeah, I think picking the SV is always very much
I'm gonna go for
an
LN3.
important factor. However, LN3 getting picked, that's gonna be kind of like the wild card LN map of this pool.
How to play LN. How to play LN and Felix Spade collaboration long no chart. Really in for a treat when you see those two names in one diff. Felix Spade and How to Play LN, definitely one of the most top long note mappers to ever show light to any scene in the Mania community.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time that they've collabed together. I think they do work pretty well together, and they did team up to make this wonderful map. So, France and Argentina gonna have to play through it, see how well they can do. These pools are ramping up in every aspect of the game. So, six-way FCs are kind of a hard thing to come by at this point.
Yeah, more or less common. As just waiting for everyone to ready up, I believe. Yeah, MP start thrown out, and here we go.
Quite a bit of swaps for everyone on the side of France and Argentina. I think France uh, puts in Jerem Kirim instead of Limbisel, and then Argentina pretty much with a full swap out. Takitsu and Kwizu do say goodbye.
I believe Jerem Kuram is no stranger to tournaments. I believe they were even in MWC at one point, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember if it's 7 key or the actual big 4 key MWC.
And as every player does get to the combo cap, I should point out that it's very rare that you get a flashlight player, but to have a flashlight player go up against a hidden player is very cool.
Yeah, 7 key MWC player coming in to 40M. Yeah, but this is definitely something. Got two, you got a flashlight player and a hidden player on two sides of the board here. But as we see, Gonzalo almost down to that 98 mark. Definitely not finding any comfort with these LNs, especially on hidden. But still very, very well from Gonzalo, even on hidden. Being able to hit these inverse type wildcard LNs very well, as France has a very noticeable lead over Argentina just with the overall average accuracy.
Exactly.
Germ Krium with a 99.7. That's astoundingly good.
Field 5 did take a drop earlier on, does take a second one here. That's not going to help things as the highest accuracy on the side of Argentina is Aluz FC.
Surprised to see if France does the exact same thing on their next pick and pick Argentina's Protect. Here we go.
SV1 being the custom by Pataraj, our lovely streamer for this match, by the way.
Yeah, Pataraj, well-known SV charter. When in doubt, just call Pataraj and he could cook up an SV map for you for any circumstance. So we got a
France
little
and
bit of
Argentina
yeah.
gonna have to see how well they can handle the heat in the kitchen.
Yeah, as we can see, this lead is just going like back and forth, just zooming across the board as the map just gets faster. And here we go into these stutters. Both players doing their, or both teams doing their homework. Definitely going to have to capitalize off of something. And that was pretty bad judgments from Gonzalo and Alou. That's gonna put France in the lead. Just for now, though, as we get more of these teleports, and now we're into the main section of the chart.
Wavelation also taking a couple of bad judgments. However, it is supported by Bilyak and Jerem Kiram doing so well on the map. Alou
Oh,
does take first break,
and
so
Gonzalo missing on that transition. That is just a wide lead. And that was a very bad drop from Gonzalo, almost down to that 97 mark, as France has an insane lead over Argentina right now.
yeah, for France it does seem really like the breach has been secured. They do defend their protect and take off a break point from Argentina off of what seemed to be a dicey pick for Argentina from the start.
France is gonna up it 2-1 on a break point as well, and it's also their uh it is their turn to pick, so maybe we could see back-to-back protects being picked as that was a very well team score from France. I believe there's a 985K in there, only 5 200s from Bilyak.
Yeah, very, very
But
nice score from them.
they're
Uh,
gonna go for Ellen decent at the very end. France winning by 1,000,000 points.
A whole 1 million points. And again, wow, really good scores from France. 988, Bobby Blue, 987 from Jerem Curum. The coordination was just there for the trio of France.
A pretty insane win gap from France. I'm unsure if Gonzalo maybe crashed or computer died or something happened. Maybe was told to get off the game. Who knows? Maybe just knew for Rice 3 Streetlight Manifesto point and point slash counterpoint. Definitely the best song, I would say, out of this entire pool.
Quite a song, and this is the mixed rice pick. I would say it is kind of jack based. So hopefully Argentina has a good time with this one, as they did quite well on Rice 5. It was very, very close, however. Again, Argentina did manage to find that win on Rice, so maybe they'll hit their stride over here on this side of the pool.
Yeah, I believe something might have happened to Gonzalo. I don't think there's any traces of them coming back into the lobby.
Yeah, to be fair, I do believe Janspark, Akitsu, and Quisubu were the players for Rice 5. However, we'll have to see what happens with Gonzalo, as another LN is, possibly gets picked by Mets later on. IP start finally coming out. So it seems like all players are ready to get into it. This is going to be the second prize pick of the match. So we're going to have to see if Argentina takes it yet again, or if France can pull off another very close match and take this one instead.
Yeah, definitely my favorite song, like I said, out of this entire pool. So definitely gonna be a banger from my side. And Argentina having an early lead, I believe. Blah, 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 finding a drop in germ, also finding a break on these mini jacks and these streams as well, as that lead is just going to increase for Argentina.
Talk about Hakitsu over at a 99.92, where Sis
What?
is actually doing quite well. Bobby the Blue unfortunately taking yet another drop. It is pretty dirty. Chris will trade it back. Really, the top dogs in the lobby are extremely scary. Everyone's just struggling to keep up, whereas Hakitsu and Sis are just untouchable at the moment. Finally falling from grace, Sis does take a drop, and that lead for Argentina is gonna grow. No more FCs on the side of France, whereas Gianspark and Hakitsu are holding it down at the moment.
Yeah, reaching the back half of this map. It's really gonna have to come to the wire if France does not find any more misses. Argentina is really gonna have to hold on. Ooh, and Janspark finds a drop, and that lead is gonna shrink even more. There is still room for France, but France is really gonna have to hold on tight, and Argentina cannot afford any more misses.
Exactly, only about a sixth of the map left, and again, it really is just led off the back of Hakitsu with an incredible FC going on right now.
Oh,
Who
Chris!
is gonna take a very dirty drop. Lead changes over to France for the first time on this map.
As, yeah, Chris Uwe was going to put the straw that broke the camel's back in this match, and it looks like it is all France from now on. France taking it back last minute. And
Yes,
there's not.
snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, really. An 11,000 point difference, however, it was so close overall. And really, Hakitsu with the Herculean performance of a 994.
So tell me, friend, how's it gonna end when the shit goes down and there's no one left around to get you back? You'll crack, smile, and agree with everything they say. They try to tell you that it's all okay, but it's not in your shot. You're bleeding pretty bad, and you can't stop thinking about the things you never had, like a wife and a kid, and the things you never did. Run around living a life that's empty in the end, my friend. No, you'll take back all you've said. I got a gun in my hand, but the gun won't cock. My fingers on
As that's another break point for France, as they are. This is their perfect time to maybe go for SV2 here, unless unless they did not learn it.
Yeah, be quite scary to pick SV2 again. That is
Maybe the
Argentina's
Blues
protect.
gotta go for LN2. Lord Crosssight.
Makes sense. I mean, you won LN1, you won LN3. Might as well pick up the hat trick and get LN2 out of the way. Seems like a very good pick, as pretty much both LN maps so far have been quite handily won by France.
And we're going to Lord equals Crosssight here. All long out maps have been picked. This is France's time to shine for match point, as they are up 4-1, and it is their pick here. And if they win this, it is match point, and they could capitalize off of anything that Argentina can pick after this. But for now, we have to see who comes out victorious on this map. Definitely extremely dense right off the get-go.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. This is the density pick of the pool. We're gonna have to see if everyone is well in tune with picks like that. Noble's Oblige of last week was quite challenging. So hopefully with this buff increased difficulty, the players handle it quite well.
As you're already a quarter in the map, France having a decent lead over Argentina.
Everyone pretty much hovering around 99.5 to 99.7. Sis actually
Oh,
taking the first miss, breaking the ice, and allowing Argentina to get back into the game with that.
but that was a very, very minor drop. I'm sure if Sis gets that combo cap, BL5 trading it back. Sis needs to reach that combo cap in order for France to really start taking the lead. BL5 as well. None of these teams can afford drops as France has the advantage now. Hakitsu finding a nasty drop as well. That's just going to extend for France's lead.
One FC on the side of Argentina backed by Alu, but Jim Kiram and Bobby Blue have FCs of a higher caliber at the moment. Not much map left for Argentina to be able to do something about it. It's going to need to be off of the back of France and drops by them in order for Team Blue to take it. That's the start, Jim Kiram. However, again, not a lot of map left, and they're going to need a lot more than that, but it does not seem so.
Yeah, Jerem finding a little bit of a nasty drop at the end, but it doesn't matter. France is gonna take it 5-1 and up to match point. 989k from Baby Babla. That's really good. Holy.
Almost 990. That's very scary. Maybe like one or two less grades, and they could have gotten it. I think it's even more impressive when I see that flashlight mod enabled. But match point for France. It's Argentina's pick. They still do have SV2 available to them. It's just after how SV1 went, I'm not sure if they are feeling confident in that pick.
Yeah, as they're gonna have to find something. Maybe they could go for Argentina won on I believe they won on Elaine, is that correct? Or
Yeah, Rice 5 is the only one that they've won on.
yeah, winning on Rice 5, so maybe they could keep that tradition. Maybe go for one of the Rice picks. Maybe gas, gas, gas. Rice 2.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. Again, Elaine had a lot of speedy bursts, and I think it translates well into Rice 2. So yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of like a coin flip for Argentina at this point. What map they want to go to? I'm sure SV2 is in the back of their minds, but you know the reason they're taking so long to pick must be because they're discussing the viability of a different map being chosen.
Yeah, they're just gonna have to hope it all turns out well in the end. As our referee giving Argentina a bit of an a live check right now.
Yeah, slight poke. Let's see if they're still thinking about things.
Really discussing on what they want to pick here. And they're gonna go for China, Rice 6. And we actually lied at someone's keyboard.
Yeah, it's It's not a song. It's actually someone just tapping on the keyboard.
Can we put the Can we actually put the World Cup in the background?
Yeah, it'd be quite interesting.
I assume this is Pataraj.
Yeah, Patraj, if this is you playing, this is your audio. Let us know.
Or maybe we could have had one of our staff members sing for it. Who knows? There are plenty of options.
Well, Rise 6 is underway, even with the scuffed audio. And again, France is at match point at the moment, 5-1 for France. Possibly Argentina's last pick of this tournament.
And we're just gonna have to listen to these, God forbid, key taps. It synced in pretty well with the song, so.
Yeah, it is. It's actually quite nice. I was gonna say, Akitsu with a 99.97, Sizz right behind them with a 99.94. Just like the last Rice pick.
As this is our core jack pick, so Argentina and France gonna really have to look more focused on the ratio more than their actual playability as Sizz finds the first drop, and so did Wavelation as well. Oh,
Two
no.
whole drops from the side of France. We are about a third of the way in, and that lead is growing as both players are trying to get back up to that combo cap. So now at this point, it really becomes just a combo game. And
Ooh, Jet
Spark
Spark.
actually finds a drop. Hakitsu and BL5 need to do so much. It's just hold on for the entirety of the map in order for Argentina to really take it.
Yeah, reaching the final half of this map. Argentina really gonna have to stay alive here. They cannot afford any drops as Sizz and Wavelation have recovered very well from those misses. Here come these long jacks as it is super close.
Yeah, I feel like that lead has been shrinking as time goes on. I'm not sure if FCs will be enough. Maybe they do have to keep accuracy. Last 10th in terms of
There's a couple
score,
200s.
though it is quite tame. I think Argentina less any disaster strikes, but it does happen on
Oh,
Wavelation side of
yeah.
things. So Argentina
Wavelation finding
does
a
take
miss.
their second point.
As they will stay alive. And so will our ears after that interesting change of MP3s.
Alive for yet another day. They get to live to see France's pick, and I'd assume that France still has a couple tricks up their sleeve. Hybrid 1 and Hybrid 2 do look like good choices, especially with the other LNs being exhausted.
Really hope we don't have to go into a penalty kick for this one.
Yeah, and we do go to penalty kicks. We all know what's gonna happen.
Mbappe's gonna miss all of his shots. And now we're just gonna have to hear the sound of Pataraj's keyboard over and over and over again.
Let's get the nice keyboard taps as we wait for Francis' pick. It's kind of like
Won't be
in
able to
the
sleep at night.
yeah, kind of like post warm up when we were listening to Argentina's warm up for
Cat,
like 4 loop overs.
pump it up, kitty. Just pump it up, kitty cat. Where you at? There you go.
It's so good.
Uh, swear 40M players have like the best warm ups. Meme wise or not meme wise. As they're gonna go for hybrid 3, they're gonna go for selfish collider, I believe. Oh,
Interesting choice.
selfish collider. I can't read.
I'm also illiterate, Walmart, don't worry. But again, interesting choice. This is the rice biased hybrid pick. Kind of sits weirdly in me that France chooses this one when hybrid 1 and hybrid 2 are up for grab.
Yeah, quite interesting, but I think just in length and as well as in star rating as well. This is quite a high star rating chart, so who knows, maybe France has something up their sleeve.
Start command over and done with. And this time on France, we have Limbicel joining in Alu, Hakitsu, and BL5 for the side of Argentina.
Yeah, and here we go.
Light 175 BPM jump stream to start with should be handled quite easily by all players.
Yeah, almost reaching our first quarter of this map. It's pretty tame for both teams right now. No one really has an advantage, but it's really gonna have to really come down to the next part to really determine if Argentina lives on another day or if France can put it in the bag and drive home safely with the victory
Exactly.
and
This
move
drop
on
really
to
doesn't
their
matter.
conditional. But here we go. France having quite a very well lead over Argentina right now. Just holding on by a thread. France really gonna have to optimize their stuff, but Limbicil finds a pretty nasty drop, but it wasn't really that bad as they have to reach that combo cap, and I'm sure that this lead can be in France's still in France's range as BL5 finds a drop, and so does Limbicil. I think Limbicil finding multiple drops as it's going to stay on Argentina's side unless something bizarre happens.
Yeah, Alu and Hakitsu doing well to keep up with Sizz and Babu Blue. Limbicel does find yet another drop, so that miss count is in favor of Argentina. Another drop by Limbicel. I think that makes 4 or 5 total. BL5 actually dropping once again, trading it back. Things are getting close as the map stops and it's taken by
What?
France.
Huh? Okay, I can't really scream right now, dude, because I'm probably gonna like absolutely destroy my voice. How close? How close was that? 172
points. And
What?
from Hakitsu missing at the final note, I think. Final 8 notes. It
What the hell?
just hand delivered to France, unfortunately. Argentina really did look like they had it in the bag, but off of a very misfortunate end, France steals it from Argentina and wins the match 6-2.
What the hell, dude? That was crazy. As France, unexpected victory. Just barely taking it out and putting it in the bag. As Mbappe is gonna come out victorious against Lionel Messi. But we're going back to 2018 now with with Germany versus Mexico. I think we will switch to that match right now.
Yeah, the immediate swap over, we do have Germany versus Mexico, and this is yet another losers quarterfinals match. Germany seed 11 going against Mexico seed 16. Both teams are gonna have to play and see who is going to take on the winner of United Kingdom versus Chile.
Yeah, as we change FIFA players.
Yeah, we'll get that clap to you guys very shortly.
Yeah, definitely quite an interesting match, or quite an interesting warm up here. Only only a minute 18 seconds, but that star rating says otherwise.
Yeah, pretty scary as a warm up when you do see the length and the star rating. Uh, Germany being sent down to the losers bracket by seed 6, Brazil, and Mexico being taken down to the losers bracket by Poland in the first round. That was a very interesting match.
Yeah, as we have switched FIFA players. We're going back to 2018. 2018 FIFA World Cup group stages, Germany
Yeah.
versus Mexico.
So now we got new collab going on. Germany, of
Uh,
course, headed by 4 out of 6 Arrow members.
we might as well change the team name to Team ERA or ERA. This is
That
a
would be interesting.
I think this is Mexico's warm up.
I would be surprised if this was Mexico's warm up. Mexico, headed by Martin underscore 22. That is going to be their team captain. And for them, they have Shadow, GM, Dex, Uwu, Elliot, Andromeda, by the way, and Rudify. Wow, this warm up kind of has a bit of everything. Jack, speed, inverse, release. Wow. Finish it off with a jump chill as well. Pretty neat warm up.
As okay, this is
Wow, I did not realize that DJ Sharpno made a mix of Fua Fua Time from K-On.
Oh boy. As I don't know anything about either anime, so you're gonna have to walk me through this Dynascape.
Nothing much. It's just
I have a vague memory of K-On, but not the other one.
yeah, it's just I think TJ Charbonneau's mix of the original OP from Chaos, which was Waffle Time. 5.21 stars. I'm guessing this is gonna be 190, like light hand stream, something like that. At 4 minutes long, should prove to sap the stamina quite early on. Though again, you don't always have to play the warm-ups.
Yeah, and you'd be correct about that Dynascape. Split throat
Yeah,
and
the
hand
light
stream.
hands. Pretty much what you'd expect from anything mapped to DJ Charbonnel song. Oh boy, those were kind of deadly, but everyone holding up pretty well. I think one miss each on the side of Germany and Mexico.
Alright, it seems that it is time for a commentary switch.
Yeah, Walmart did have to take a bit of a rest. It is very hard when you are commentating 2 straight blocks. I'm sure most commentators will know that.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, especially in such a contentious match as France versus Argentina, especially when the football hype really settling in, really makes you really root for any of the other country, and it really pushes your voice. Anyone should try. Even mock commentating might be a shout for those who are very enthusiastic about sportsmanship, competition, and so on.
Yeah, and especially from the hype of how that last map turned out as well. pretty, intense stuff going on in that match. And it does seem like this map is very intense as well, as Germany does find a lead off the breaks of pretty much all members from Mexico. Medium Keck, the only FC in the lobby as this map closes out.
Yeah, Medium Keck has been an up-and-coming player, and Medium Keck's also participated in the currently ongoing Speed of Flight number 3. I believe he has qualified for the round of 32, although I might be wrong.
Yeah, I want to say that they made it past the group stage, but again, I could also be wrong with that. But again, that's going to be both warm-ups over and done with, so we can go ahead and get on with the rolls. Medium Keck getting an 86 is going to be tough to beat for Martin.
Yeah, 86 is gonna be a little bit hard to beat. There's only 14 chances out of 100 to get it done, but it is what it is. It's not a 0% chance like France versus Argentina. Argentina 5100.
Oh man, and 15 from Mexico, so that means that Germany will get that first protect and that first pick.
Yes, indeed. Germany's gonna be starting with the protects, and then it's gonna be snaking around. And Germany immediately going for the SV number 2 protect. Reminds us that Germany has some of the most famous SV players in the world, in the name of Punish, for example.
Definitely a reason as to why they got 7th place in the SV qualifiers. I think the Germany SV trio is definitely one of the better ones in this tournament. Mexico gonna go ahead with the LN2 protect. Makes sense because I feel like Mexico plays really well with the LN maps and also the hybrid maps in general, so that's
Yeah.
good job for them.
Yeah, also might be a good idea in terms of matchup against Germany. Germany, who has been scaling a whole lot better than last year in terms of price in general. All of their members have been continuously improving, playing the game, and just getting more physicality and getting more into the deep end of 4 digits.
It is very nice that you did point that out, since I was going to question whether or not Germany could scale well into this current mid-game, especially, I know they are very, very good at early game accuracy, but as shown by that warm-up, they do seem to be very adept, at least for straightforward rice picks at around this level, and Hybrid 1 being banned by Germany, Mexico taking off SV1 out of the board.
Wait, I think I missed a
SV1
ban.
was banned by Mexico.
Yeah, fair. There you go.
Yeah, banning Pataraj's map right in front of his face.
Yeah, I didn't want to accept it. It is stage 1 denial and stage 5 acceptance in all of 1 second.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an understandable ban. You see the opposing team protecting SV, you might want to ban the other SV just to be sure if your team is like not ready for SV.
Exactly, and wow, Germany with an immediate Rice 1 pick. Again, it does make sense based on how that warm-up goes. It seems like all players are just ready and willing to be able to replicate what they did in that warm-up.
Yeah, I think that's a sound choice, especially if Germany is like very good on consistency and physicality compared to Mexico, and that's also gonna let them acquire some information as to where they stand in terms of ratio and accuracy.
And therefore being able to branch out into more safe price picks later on into the match. Should be said that Germany did get 9th place on the jump stream qualifier, Mexico getting an 18th, so there's quite a bit of a gap in the skill set. However, Mexico is going to try to do all they can to get this break point from Germany.
Yeah, it's not all black and white because the qualifier stage 7 stamina was very dense in nature in terms of patterning and so on. This one does have its dense elements, but I'd say it's a little bit easier than the qualifier. But it is also more difficult in different ways, especially in terms of lengths. I do think it's a little bit longer than the qualifier itself, and faster as well.
Exactly, and clocking in at 3.5 minutes really is no joke. Did take a look in the editor, and that last run is 60 measures long. So it is very, very stamina testing and stamina draining.
Yeah, I can't wait to get settled into this pick and see what are going to be the results for this first point. The first point might be the most important of the match because this is what defines the entire strategy of your team.
Mexico does seem set pretty solid in their ways. Going to be probably picking Ellen and Hybrid, but if they can really strike fear into the hearts by taking this first point, it can do a lot of mental damage for Germany and make them rethink their battle plan.
And we are going with an MP start 9. We don't see many nines. We don't see many nines as far as MP starts go, but I do believe that our dear referee Chimcha wanted to do a funny in honor of Germany.
Yeah, don't see that every day. Quick little Bancho restart as Silt wasn't loading in. However, we are gonna get into it.
Yeah, it's only gonna be the beginning before the actual gem streams start. Gonna be kind of a ratio battle up until either stamina from either player on the field gives up.
It really is pretty much about how much gas does each individual have left in the tank, and it seems like Space is gonna break the ice here, taking the first miss and swinging things over to Mexico. However, not as much as you would expect, and that really is off of the back of the accuracy difference going on right now.
Absolutely. Silit and Dex Uwu a little bit behind in terms of accuracy, and Germany making a great job of maintaining the accuracy the accuracy average right around 99.65, I would say.
And for Mexico, it's
Oh
probably,
no.
oh man, pretty
That's the
dirty
trade.
dice. Yeah, that is a trade. However, I think Germany got off with the better deal here.
Yeah,
Still
no.
dropping down sub 99.
Yeah, now that's a very, very dirty drop from Silit, and you gotta wonder if Silit is not giving up in terms of stamina already.
And we're only halfway into the map.
Oh, medium kick, actually breaking combo as well. But that's a clean miss, that's a clean miss.
So it is two FCs on the side of Mexico, one for Germany with Tiger being the only FC. However, again, it's just that accuracy difference. Silit sub 99, Dex very close behind, almost about to drop sub 99 as well. As we gear into this last phase of the map, again, it is 60 measures long. For the rest of this map, you are going to be hitting that 223 jump stream.
Yeah, those split trails are especially hostile to keeping combo and stamina. You gotta keep your focus alive. But Silit and Dexter are starting to crumble. 2 misses in a row already, but Tiger also gives up a little bit, but not as much as Silit.
Every player just constant breaks. Silit, Space, Medium, Keck, Tiger. decks even. The only FC on the board is Shadow GM. However, that's not gonna matter much because it feels like Zillit doesn't have the physicality to really act this map, and Shadow GM actually finally finding a break in this last section here. So no FCs from either Germany or Mexico, but it does seem like Germany had the better physicality.
Yeah, now this ending, as you mentioned, very long, very tiring, especially at the back end of a 3-minute long pick. It's an especially gruesome bloodbath on the field for all players involved, but especially for Mexico for this first point.
Large win by Germany, about 128,000 points, meaning that each player from Germany probably garnered a around 40,000 lead over their compatriots. So gonna have to see how Mexico deals with that. I mean, it was Germany's pick. Mexico probably wasn't going in expecting to win this, knowing their team scores on this map beforehand. So they just have to shake it off and really just stick with their plan of what I'm thinking is going to be just LNs and hybrids.
Yeah, seeing the physicality difference, it's not even an accuracy difference between Mexico and Germany. That's a straight up physicality difference between the two teams. I think Mexico should just go for the less physical picks. And we do have some picks that are more focused on finesse and accuracy. Like you might not think that Mexico would go for it, but China might be an option if they can sustain the jack speed. The long notes are also interesting to consider. I do think that Mexico is probably gonna be starting with the long note picks before entering somewhat of a exploratory phase.
Yeah, I kind of do like that you mentioned China. I think it'd be funny to see it once again and have the audio. However, I do agree that if you can't keep up with what the 125 BPM jack speed, might be a good pick. However, they are going to go with the wild card pick of the LN pool before possibly branching out into the more specialized ones.
Yeah, Kovat is a custom map by How to Play In and Felix Spade. Thank you to both of those mappers for mapping this banger. And this is going to be an especially releasey wildcard, basically kitchen sink kind of pick.
Yeah, it's a good way to describe it. Everything really is thrown at you. A lot of different LN concepts just being blended together on this map. Seems like the Mexican team is trying to gather that third player. Dexu and Shadow GM are going to stay in. I'm just wondering who is going to be that third slot, possibly. Oh, I think it is Martin. They're just over on the Germany side. So it's Germany just fielding their other player.
Yeah, Chemcha and Medium Kek literally having a war in the comments. You don't want to fight too much. It is Germany versus Mexico after all, not Germany versus United Kingdom.
Never want to piss off your ref. Could be playing with fire there.
And also shoutouts to the British flag in the background as well. Chimcha must be feeling proud of that one.
Oh yeah, there it is. I was trying to search for it on the preview. As we get the full background, we do see it. Very nice.
Yeah, very prominently shown to the left of the playfield.
Map's gonna kick off, and everyone pretty much even in terms of accuracy. Do have Leo at the top at the moment. However, that is going to be stifled a bit by Tiger's accuracy. tied with Dex, and then Medium Keck a bit below Martin and Shadow GM.
Yeah, we are looking into the accuracies stabilizing more and more, but right now, especially on Tigers and Dex's field, it is very volatile. It is only Medium Keck, Leo, Martin, and Shadow maintaining their 99.5s just about, but Germany is starting to dip in terms of accuracy, giving the advantage over to Mexico for now, but it is very slim. Oh no!
Ooh, first miss by Dex. That's gonna help things for Germany's side. As I was going to mention, Leo and Medium Cook did drop a bit in act, but now they're actually tied up with Shadow GM and TK Martin. Tiger now having that lead and the miss as well over Dexu's head. So it's safely in Germany's hands for now as we get into the back half of the map.
Oh no, Martin is gonna be giving more of that lead to Germany, and what you have to do when you miss is not panic. And it seems that Martin has caught a little bit more accuracy drops and misses in the while fumbling around, but Tiger trades some of that away.
It was quite unfortunate. That was a pretty decently dirty drop, and really Leo and Medium Keck have done well to match Shadow GM, pretty much giving that safety cushion for Germany. And as this map tries to close out, we are going to need to see something from either of the mentioned players on Germany's side in order for Mexico to take this point.
Yeah, Martin is gonna drop one last time before finishing this song, and this is a pretty sizable Germany lead. So we've got a sizable lead in terms of physicality, but we've also got a sizable lead in terms of long note ability. I feel like Mexico is in a precarious situation.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, going into this match, just looking at the numbers, really did feel like Mexico would have been pretty nice in terms of LN, but this map kind of threw a wrench in the plans here. Mexico should be pretty cautious of picking LN1 and LN2 later on in the set, but for now it's going to be Germany's pick, and they're going to fire off an immediate SV2 pick.
Yeah, third pick, and we already have all three, well, main categories, Rice, Long Notes, and SV. There's only the hybrids remaining, but the hybrids, you gotta think it's a mix of Rice and Long Notes. So while it is a little bit more ambiguous than straight Rice or straight Long Notes, it is still a pretty difficult situation for Mexico to deal with.
Never really want to give up that first break point. Again, as I said at the top of the broadcast, kind of does some mental damage. So as we get into this SV2 pick, I'm not sure how practiced Mexico would be on a map like this. You'd have to imagine that Germany is going to shoot for all FCs and even more, possibly a couple of 990s, looking at Punish to make that happen.
Yeah, also shoutouts to Serbe. I saw Serbe at last year's COE playing SV while I was kind of going back and forth the alleys, the rows of Osu players, and really nice to meet people in real life as well, to see what they're like, just hang out and play some games together. Also do a Mania showcase, why not?
Yeah, I think COA definitely a great place for the Europeans to meet up. I think NA kind of just has TwitchCon, but not really. Patraj, when is the next COE? If you want to give a little ad.
Sure. I do believe it's gonna be around August, beginning of August. But the dates are still yet to be announced. But it's surely gonna be around end of July, beginning of August. Stay tuned. It's surely gonna be announced right on the Osu website as well, because I do believe that COE has a fair amount of reach.
So if you are a European player Make sure you do check out COE if you do want to make some more friends IRL and get to meet more Mania players within the scene. It'd be nice to have that.
Yeah, I think it's especially exciting to do that since the European scene compared to the Asian scene and American scene is a little bit smaller than it seems. We do have some major players in Europe, but I don't think the scene is as big as the other continents. Some players from other continents might actually be planning to come to COE, so do consider some plane tickets.
Yeah, if you are able to make it, it is within your calendar and budget. It is, from what I've seen, a very, very cool experience. Definitely one to remember, for a long, long time.
Yeah, fun thing is we're not even here to play Mania necessarily. We're just gonna hang out with as human beings, being nice to each other and so on.
That is the most important thing. Really, it's just kind of a hangout with people of similar hobbies. Doesn't necessarily, the conversation or the activities don't have to be OSU related, as I've seen in COE. Really is just kind of like finding, like-minded people and making friends and all that, seeing who's kind of in the area. MP start finally coming out, so all players are ready. On the side of Team Mexico, we're actually gonna get Silat and Andromeda making their appearance yet again. Shadow GM backing them up, and of course, for Team Germany, we do have all ERA members aboard: Punish, Medium Tech, and Survey.
Oh my god, medium tech with the fade in strat. This is so funny.
It's definitely an interesting strat. Seems like it's not really working out for them personally. However, Punish and Survey with the 99.62 and 87 FCs definitely gonna help that out. Andromeda taking another miss. Unfortunately, it does seem like the worst player in the lobby by far for this SV map, hanging at about a 92%. Just does not seem super well practiced. Whereas Shadow GM and Scylla doing everything they can at about 98 FCs.
Yeah, it is a little bit unfortunate not to have a third SV player in your lineup. It is what it is, and it is part of the game as well.
Just kind of had to take it on the chin and be ready for the next map. Really is all it is. It's the most you can really ask for. Medium kick finally dropping, so that fade in is gonna loosen up just a little bit. Jamina taking yet another miss. Survey and Punish doing quite well, so finally finding a miss as well.
Yeah, I feel like medium pick should just stop playing and still win the pick for Germany right now.
Yeah, that score bar line actually reaching Medium Kek's name on the bottom. They are gonna take that point though.
Yep, there was absolutely no question about it. All of the players in the German team were very much more well-trained than the Mexican team, unfortunately. And yeah, that's going to be a silver S from Medium Keck's side. And you're gonna wonder what Mexico's gonna go next for.
Yeah, exactly. LN3 did not really work out for them. Germany did take it by a sizable margin. So now LN1 and LN2 do look kind of like mines on the field. Hybrid 2 and Hybrid 3 might be interesting choices, or like you said at the beginning, Rice 6 could be something where they could show their accuracy or something like that.
And Chimchar engaging the MP timer 0. MP timer 0, your time is up!
Yeah. Very silly timer numbers from Chimchar. Probably missed the 6, I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, they did.
Yep. Chimchar ain't getting none of that 6. Oh wow, the referee's trying to rig the game right now, but Mexico just putting on their best picking game and going for the last category on the board, that is hybrid.
Very interesting that they've swapped from an LN pick into now picking the Rice biased hybrid. We're gonna have to see how this one turns out. Like you said, Chimchar fake giving a point to Mexico. However, Patras, seems like you're standing strong, not aligning with the referee of the match, so no points awarded to them until they earn it.
Yeah, I mean, people might forget about it, but I'm technically a host for this tournament, so I gotta keep an eye on my little children.
Yeah, you have to treat everyone fairly as you do, or as, more like as you should.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I do believe that this commentator booth is actually it's actually made out of actually experienced hosts. You have hosted Cold Open Cup, the 5-digit team tournament.
Yeah, so it's kind of like-minded towards, in parallel with 4DM 5-digit team tournament, as this one being a 4-digit country-based team tournament. So yeah, the experience is there, and I will back you up when you do say that, you have to treat all teams equally and kind of watch out for them.
Yeah, give him some headbats, give him some encouragement, and just let him cook, really.
Yeah, I'm really, I'd be very wary of letting my children cook, especially as with them being 5 digits, they are just kind of newborns. However, in the context of 4DM,
No!
I'd let that happen.
Aww. Okay, I gotta panic. Okay. Anyways, going into the actual pick, let's get things serious for a second here. This beginning part is still gonna be kind of a warm up into the actual pick and before the actual drop actually settles in.
Yeah, in the last match that we had, which was Argentina-France, we saw quite a bit of misses later on in the map, especially when the drop came in and things got a bit more trickier.
Dex?
But, Dex?
Hello?
Dex actually getting the drop out of the way pretty early on. You're gonna miss. Probably the best place to do it is gonna be at the start, but for now Germany will hold quite a bit of a lead.
Tiger catching an uncharacteristic 200 late release here. and another 200, dropping that 99.9 to 99.8, and that's the way the pick settles in.
It really is. As things kind of lean more towards LN for just a bit, you do see a drop in accuracy from pretty much everyone on the board, maybe aside from Shadow GM, still holding on to that 99.8. Everyone holding onto that burst quite well, but things are gonna start to get a little bit more techy on the right side of things, and Medium Keck could not handle it, taking 2 misses along with them.
Oh yeah, we're starting to see that advantage fly away to Mexico. And Tiger...
Oh boy.
Ooh, but accuracy is starting to drip from Dex from the physicality of this pick.
Yeah, lowest accuracy in the lobby right now. However,
No, Shadow!
Oh, as I say that, Shadow does drop final FP.
Oh my god!
For Mexico is
There
smart.
gonna be enough
It's
time!
been pretty
Oh,
close.
Medium Keck is gonna give away I don't know if Medium Keck actually gave away the point because Shadow GM also missed in the ending.
It got extremely close is really what happened, and look at Martin and Space. Very close, 21 points separating those two for the top score in the lobby, but it does seem like the difference was Shadow GM and Tiger, as Medium Keck and Dex were quite close as well.
That's a pretty interesting result as far as Mexico goes in terms of strategy. That opens an alley of potential picks for Mexico. They could go for the other hybrid, or they could actually go for some of the more technical picks. Since Germany might be prone to dropping combo on some of the more technical, tricky picks.
Yeah, so maybe, you know, that could be a game plan for Mexico. Possibly branch out to Rice 5 later on for one of their picks. But I am quite interested to see what map Germany wants to pick, especially with SV2 out of the way. Probably something more physical, I would guess, seeing as how Rice 1 went. They are going to go with the Rice 3.
Yeah, I think Germany has an array of strategies that could go. They could go for long nodes. They could go for the more physical picks like gas, or yeah, they're gonna go a point, counter point.
Quite interesting. I would say, it's a bit weird. Not a map that I'd expect from Germany. However, I think that probably what's going on in their minds is that the accuracy will really shine for the German players.
So this is the stamina Rice pick, and I do believe that Germany is relying on Mexico's relative lack of stamina compared to their lineup. Okay, do I have another tangent I can go on? We've done COE, we've done hosting, tournament hosting. Do you have any topic you want to bring to the table?
Oh boy. I think that kind of in line with the last two topics that we discussed as we wait for the players to load in and get situated. I think the future of Mania tournaments does look quite bright when you say Pataraj.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this year, like last year, was already pretty active in terms of tournament initiatives. We saw Combo Cup have kind of a trial of some sort of a draft tournament. It was kind of interesting. It was an interesting idea to bring to the table, at least. 7K tournaments as well is also in the works, actually. People might be thinking about the beginner beginner 7K tournaments and maybe even a 6K tournament, I do believe that innovation is around the corner.
Exactly, and some K tournaments, even we did have Alters US Mania tournament in play. That was kind of a test. I think something going on in the works might come later in the year. And like what you said, I think the meta really is kind of being pushed in different directions. People are trying new things, and really we're having a lot more new hosts, and just in general a lot more tourney staff being active. And I'm pretty glad that the tournament scene has boomed in the past, 2-ish or so years. It really is nice to get into this community and kind of interact with others.
Yeah. And as we close this tangent, we are going to start a point counterpoint with all players ready to rumble.
So we are gonna have to see if Germany is gonna win their pick and get this point, or if Mexico can bring things back and get the counterpoint.
That was nicely worded.
Yeah, thank you. Just a little wordplay on the map name.
I caught it. That was very good. I would have probably done the same in other circumstances. You're just trying to fix the skip button, hopefully.
Wow,
Just-
starting off, does seem like Space and Tiger did take misses. Not sure if that's Bancho or not.
Yeah, just want to try to let the client settle in for a second, but it might be genuine misses. Not necessarily a good sign for Germany. It might be time for the run back for Mexico.
And especially off of Shadow and Martin having such high FCs at the moment, 98, 99.8 and 99.7. Very impressive by them to start off this map with a bang, and Dex is doing pretty well to support it. Third man in the lobby at a 99.6.
Yeah, for now it's looking good. But Dex and Tiger are actually going to trade together. It's all and good if it still trades. You don't want to give too much of that lead away like Shadow's doing right now. Looking very, very dangerous right now.
Yeah, with both Mexican players trying to get back up to the combo cap, it seems like it might settle into Germany having the slightest of advantages. And Martin, the only FC for Mexico, is under medium tech's accuracy, who is the only FC for Germany.
Oh no, Martin, get your stuff together, man! You don't want to miss in the break!
Yeah, and at such a leisurely part in the map, you finally get a break, you end up dropping. That is not what you want to see. I will say Space has recovered from their initial turbulence very well. 99.76 for the one miss. That is extremely clean. Wonder if that's going to be a black flag as map.
Oh no, mean Kek. That is a clean miss, all things considered, but that is dangerous at this point of the match. But Shadow, no, that is a second consecutive miss. That is not good for Mexico right now. They had a chance to get the breakpoint, but
Yeah, it feels like Shadow just ran out of gas at the end. Took 2 or 3 misses and a bit of bad judgments as well. Just overall a pretty dirty back half by Mexico, unfortunately. And the accuracies weren't really there for them, which gave Germany their 4th point.
Man, that point was not exactly black or white. You might see the end result with Germany with a substantial lead against Mexico, but this pick, let me tell you, this pick might show some vulnerabilities from Germany.
Yeah, even though Germany did win the point, it was by the slimmest of margins. I would say generally it was just separated by Shadow GM's unlucky back half run of the map. 6 misses to their name. I think it would have been a lot different had Shadow GM pull through with an FC like they were doing for the first sections. However, it is going to be Mexico's pick, and they're going to have to try to get something going, as it is now potentially their last pick of the match.
I don't know if they're gonna go with the remaining hybrid or if they're gonna try and gather some of the more technical rice picks to try and get a point, because the remaining technical picks are quite a bit shorter than point counterpoint, so they might be able to snag a point just by shortness of pick alone. What? Whoa, that's an interesting strategy. I understand it, but that's an interesting strategy.
So it seems like they are sticking to their initial guns. Mexico does decide that they are gonna try to get a point in LN. They did seem to do so well in terms of LN for the qualifiers, and I feel like that's where they had found their identity. So gonna have to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, between Lord Crosssight and Crovadis, the two long node picks are quite a bit different. Lord Crosssight is more density oriented with way more straightforward releases, so this might give more of a chance for Mexico to just power through the pick and maybe hope for Germany chokes in general. But that is under the condition that Mexico as a whole just sustains the physicality of this long node pick, and especially maintains decent enough accuracy to be able to rival the German team.
I think that it is, as you said, pretty nice that the length isn't too long, so really physicality isn't at play. This map is a bit of a step up from Noblesse Oblige. However, I think Mexico should do just fine. As with all density picks, it kind of is a bit more straightforward, and especially looking at LN3, where it's just kind of a transition of different LN elements. There's definitely nothing up this map's sleeve.
Alright, Dex kind of messes up the intro burst, but it is only the beginning. This is recoverable, totally recoverable.
All 6 players now settled in past that combo cap, so now accuracy should stabilize by quite a bit. Tiger and Dex currently around tied in terms of accuracy. Shadow GM and Leo fighting for the top spot, and Martin and Medium Keck finally. Martin holding, actually dropping a little bit in terms of accuracy. So really all 6 players are kind of close in terms of score.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here right now is 3 separate 1v1s. And those 3 1v1s are extremely closely tied together. And oh my god, Tiger is actually starting to give up in terms of releases, maybe manipulating some of those releases and giving away some of that advantage. And right now it is flickering between the two teams.
Exactly, Tiger and Dex. That battle is currently won by Dex just a little bit. Martin and Medium Keck keeping in step with each other. Leo and Shadow GM. Slight lead by Leo at the moment. Really, it could all come down to one miss.
Oh my god, Tiger just trying to maintain this accuracy, but Leo does have the advantage over Shadow. But Tiger is gonna drop some combo, but traded by Martin right now.
It's way too close to tell. Tiger takes 2 misses, Martin trades 1 back. However, the map is gonna close out, and really, it's just gonna be Mexico's point off of the back of Dex and Shadow winning their 1v1s as well as, oh wow, no, actually, really it was Dex holding that accuracy over Tiger. I didn't realize how dirty of a break that was from the side of Tiger.
Bruh, Leo with the V1 double S, that's an extremely good result for Germany. But unfortunately, I think Tiger has dropped too much accuracy towards the end, dropping from 99.2 to 99.0. And that's really going to set Tiger right below Dex, who Tiger was facing against in their respective 1v1s.
Wow, so Mexico taking their second point. Things are now heating up. Germany does have to find themselves the 5th point and try to get to match point. Mexico guarantees themselves get another pick with that win.
Oh my god. Germany oppressing Mexico with pure physicality right now. Going for gas.
That's quite scary.
Oh man. I don't know if you're ready for this banger, but yes, sure I am.
I mean, I feel like with how Teenage Dream went last round, I am very scared for all players in the lobby. I think this should be quite the challenge for them.
German theme song. German. It's the new German anthem.
That's the Eurobeat German anthem. Quite interesting.
You know what this song is? It is the German highways. There's no speed limit in some German highways, actually.
Wow, that's actually a very interesting tidbit of information. So it does seem quite fitting that Gas is used as a German anthem. If any of you guys out there are on the German highways, just watch out for any speed maps.
They're talking about the Autobahn to pass the time. I mean, it is appropriate. Just step on the gas, man. But be careful. Just a disclaimer, just for legal reasons. Be careful.
Yeah, I don't definitely don't want any car crashes being attributed to us telling the viewers that it's alright to speed. Speed in moderation, really.
Yeah. Disclaimer, we are not responsible of your accidents that you may or may not have on the highways.
So with the with the disclaimer out of the way and us absolved of all sins committed on the highways, we are now geared up to go into this speed pig.
It's going to be interesting to see how Mexico handles this pick exactly, because I do believe that on Rice 1, they kind of ran short of breath. So I don't know if they're warmed up already so far in the match. Alright, let's go into the main beat. Oh no! That's a stern difference in physicality between the two teams right now. Ouch!
Pretty much, I mean, Martin is holding FC, albeit at sub 99. Shadow GM does take the earliest of drops. Dex seems to be the only one really holding on, or being able to hold on in terms of accuracy on this map. However, it's just not going to be enough, as the best player for Mexico is below the worst player for Germany.
Yeah, we're gonna see if Germany doesn't collapse in the middle of the chorus or something. But the pick is relatively short, 1 minute and 55 seconds, and Space is gonna give up in terms of combo first in the German team. That is a very clean miss, however.
much more needed. Air medium kept gonna find a job, but that one is quite clean too. The only FC gonna be for Tiger on the German side. Shadow GM does find yet another break. 2 FCs on the side of Martin and Dex, however. Again, the accuracy is not there. Martin finally finding a slew of bad judgments as the map closed out. And just to add insult to injury, Dex will miss in the finals section.
No full combos remaining for the Mexican team. That is a little bit heartbreaking, but it is what it is. They knew they had the difference in terms of physicality, so it is only their point to lose. But right now it is match point 5-2 against Mexico. Only 1 point for Germany to win the match, but it is Mexico's pick, so they have the vantage points.
And I think that LN1, pretty good idea there. Could possibly be still within Mexico's minds, especially after winning LN2. Rice 6, like you said, still an interesting pick. I think it could possibly work out, and especially I think it still is within the realms of Shadow GM still being able to absolutely kill it in terms of accuracy.
I think they might dare and go for the last remaining long node pick. It might be possible, and yes, they are going to go for it. The One Piece is
Map, especially with this one being the coordination pick, I feel like kind of hand in hand release, is a different form of coordination. So could see
All
It
right.
does close off with Germany taking it, and that is going to be them winning this match 6-2 off of a couple of very important break points on the LN side of things.
Okay, so I was gonna say no one cursed Leo in the commentator booth, but it is in fact Diamond Blaze who cursed Leo in his FC run, unfortunately.
So it was not us, but that is gonna do it for this match. We hope you guys did enjoy that doubleheader. Germany seed 11 is gonna defeat